Alamo was actually sold to Sony. Freaking kidding me. I didn't hear that at all. I don't hear anything though. All right, test, charging up the crystals.
I hear you.
Charging it all up. All right, bad boys. What did they do? They did some stuff. We interrupt this primary universe with the tangent universe, although we're not going to be talking about Donnie Darko today, but it was such a good conversation. YouTube is like, yo, dog, do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. It was fun, and I listened to the soundtrack again multiple times today, but we had some breaking news that we had to jump into, but YouTube was just acting a little finicky, but we're not in our regulars. I'm remote again. You in the studio, you in Those Incredible Studios. I'm remote, and that makes testing a little bit harder than we normally do when we're right there. And
How's
we are
the
vertical
volume?
again.
Anybody watching, can you tell me if the volume is good? Viewers, please. Thank you. While you're doing that, please subscribe.
Yes, please do all these things. 100% party. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Oh, I can kind of see myself. Dude, how do you feel about vertical here? Vertical's good.
Oh, you can see yourself. Oops. Sorry.
No,
Still getting the hang of this.
But did you ever think? Remember all the days that people were like, "Yo, turn that device sideways. I want to watch that." And now they're saying to turn it sideways, the other sideways, like a Uno reverse.
Well, nobody uses their phone sideways, so why would they?
Yeah. So it's over. We're back to vertical. So sorry, people bringing iPads to events to record. It's It's just not a thing anymore.
iPad's actually 2x3.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So nice reference.
Yes. But let's jump into it, man, because we posted this today. We've been talking about it, and it's just the wheels are completely spinning on this news that Sony has purchased our beloved Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. What was your first gut reaction when you heard the news?
Well, we'll get off the logo here. First gut reaction?
Yeah, when you saw it, because you were the first one that you instantly sent it to me, and and it was only like 10 minutes in the trades by then. It was so hot off the presses. There we are.
All right, you'll get the hang of this eventually.
Yes.
I was not surprised. We just talked about this 2 nights ago.
But I guess, yeah, we knew there was sale, right? They live hard, they party hard, they work hard, they party hard. They cost a lot to run. But this is the first time since 1945 that a major studio owns a major theater chain, and they only changed that law back like 2020, right, during the whole when the world was upside down and locked up. And Sony was the first one to take the leap. Sony, who doesn't even have a streamer,
good. Made the
leap.
They just put a bid on Paramount. They were trying to buy Paramount, didn't go through. What's up, Glitch Sister?
Yeah, Glitch Sister, exactly. There were laws against
there used to be, but
that
that just got changed. Glitch Sister,
why
did
they
sub while you're here, please? We love you.
Yes,
thank you for joining in the conversation. The law that prohibited that just got changed.
Why did they change that? Was the question. I didn't even know they changed it.
I think that it's just where the business is at the moment. Like we were saying on Monday, it doesn't make sense anymore for the theaters and the studios to have separate goals, to be at odds against each other and trying to make money separate of each other. I think now that the theater experience is sort of dying, for lack of a better word, unaliving, is it's the time to think about combining these things again. It's just what makes sense for business.
But I just, for some reason, and I know this stuff happens all the time, laws change. I don't recall the reason. While the theaters were closed, they made this rule?
I don't know what's the date. I'm sure if you get on the Google machine, it'll tell you the exact date this happened.
Yeah. And there's a lot of questions. Your head starts spinning, and us being right here in Austin, Texas, we were always very protective of Alamo. And look, Alamo changed. They got saved by private equity, and you felt the change. You felt the change in the menu. They did keep the vibe, but they did lose a lot of that independent feel, right? We used to talk about, we want the benches back. We need sticky benches, not these fancy tables. I feel like they're spending money on all these tables and all this aesthetic stuff, but now to come in and have a studio buy it, people are like, wait, they're just going to show Sony movies now? It's like, bro, Sony's library is not that deep. How many times can you watch Morbius in a row?
Why would they do that? That makes absolutely no sense. They changed the law in 2020, yes, so it was while the theaters were closed. Thank you, Google Machine. Always great. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they show only Sony movies when they can show other studios' movies and keep half the revenue?
That's what I mean. They're going to basically, now every studio that wants to show in Alamo is going to be making money for Sony.
Right.
Do you think Sony heard me making fun of them, that they don't know how to do live action Marvel movies? They're like, screw it, we're just going to buy theaters then. And now we'll get that Madam Web midnight showing that's going to happen.
That's never going to happen, but I think that it is going to open up a lot of revenue streams for them. Well, I mean, Alamo is 75 theaters nationwide. They're the 7th biggest overall, Yeah. But I think what Alamo has is sort of a pre-built experience, and that's what Sony's department that is buying Alamo is called Sony Experiences. They have cultivated a more niche movie-going experience, and I feel like that's what they're buying. And of course, they'll play their movies, they'll play other movies to take half of that, but they can do other things. Like Alamo has all this stuff. They play old movies. Sure, we'll play old Sony movies. They do live Q&As, they do retrospectives, they do all this other stuff that people show up to. I mean, I feel like the profit margin on them doing a Bad Boys 1 through 4 sort of like all-day screening is probably pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Minus the licensing fees or whatever. But I think it's really the theater experience that Alamo has cultivated is what they're trying to capture, in my opinion.
Well, rightfully so. I mean, yeah, because the big theater chains couldn't create an experience. They try. I mean, the regular screenings, theaters have those retro screenings as well, and it's not the same. Like, doesn't Cinemark and AMC have a deal with Fathom Events? And every time I go to a Fathom event, I was like, oh, that's going to be cool. It's always empty. It's always empty. But, like, if you get, like, a retro screening, like when go to Alamo here, it's always packed. So, I mean, they have that reputation. But now how do the other studios reply? Like, what's their response now? They're going to have to be in bed with Sony and start cutting that, or...
No, they don't have to be in bed with Sony. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to Sony's gonna get a cut of their stuff. And now, granted, the whole reason the theatrical experience is in the crapper is because the theater owners are not getting that much. But now you got Sony, who has other streams of revenue. So, like, say WB or Disney, Sony's going to get a piece of that action.
Well, yeah, because they're playing the movie. I mean, they're not really doing anything they're not circumventing any normal streams of revenue or doing anything out of the ordinary. They're just jumping into that position of being what is it called? A exhibitor.
Yes, the exhibitor, the popcorn salesman.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Universal still gets their cut. And Universal can refuse to show it if they don't want...
That's what I mean.
If they don't want free money, why would they not want free money?
Do they not play well? I mean, in the past, they haven't played well, right? Like that Marvel-Sony deal was like, okay, we'll give you 5%.
Well, Marvel's not a studio. Marvel's just part of Disney. That's not really the same
thing. But the same point being is these guys don't play well together.
Yeah.
Are they going to start doing that now?
No.
And you're right. And Glitch Sister, she said the main Alamo has been struggling to stay open for the past few years. Sony sells their old movies to AMC and others, so it's a loss for everyone near an Alamo.
I mean, I think I agree with that, Glitch Sister. I think it is a loss for anyone near an Alamo because, unfortunately, one byproduct of this is Alamo's going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to have to change. And look, people have complained and talked smack about the Alamo menu for years. Just wait, it's going to change now. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, but like, my main question is, will the experience change? Are they still going to do the shut your phone off or we'll kill you type of a promo beforehand? Are they still? I mean, we just talked about it 2 weeks ago where I saw somebody escorted out for talking during Hitman. They still going to do that? They going to abide by that?
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of avenues for revenue for Sony. Like, why not? Alamo has built it in. They've got the gift shop in there. You know what I mean? You can get your Alamo swag. Now you're going to get Sony swag. Why wouldn't you want to walk out of Ride or Die and get your Ride or Die shirt? And now, like, if you watch, I don't know if you ever get on the Alamo app. Sometimes you reserve tickets for whatever movie. They offer you a lunchbox with it. You get a free lunchbox. Not a free. It's actually $25. But commemorate, the film you saw with a lunchbox. That type of stuff, I think they can get into.
It's just very nerve-wracking. Yeah, as JJ said, Venom flavored popcorn. It gives them the advantage of they kind of get to set the table now on how the experience is going to go. And the other studios, like you said, they're going to have to abide by it if they want to show at Alamo, if they want to show at Alamo. But they're going to have to abide by, and we've seen this happen in the past.
I don't think I don't think it works that way. I think more the theaters want to get the films more than the films want to play at a theater. I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, I don't. It just we've seen this kind of stuff happen. We've seen these acquisitions before. Sony said exactly what you expect them to say, right? That are like, the theater owners are still going to be franchisees, right? These are owned by, and you have to have like a couple $1 million of liquid cash. These aren't like the struggling film. This is big money, and they said they're going to leave it alone.
I love I feel like this is a big FU to the streamers. Sony is the only major studio that doesn't have a streamer. It looks like they were contemplating buying Paramount, and that fell through. So now they're leaning into the theatrical experience. Thank you. I love that. Yes, let's do that. So if you're going to be at odds with studios, why not be another studio? Makes perfect sense to me.
It was a ballsy move. I mean, it really was a ballsy move. It's one that did not expect at all. Like, I did not expect that at all.
I thought it was going to be Apple or somebody that buys Alamo Drafthouse. After that bankruptcy the other day, it's a few days ago, someone was going to buy it. It was going to happen, you know? It's just like, it wasn't just going to fail. Some big money mark was going to pick it up and try and make something with it. And so it turns out Sony.
I'm with you. I thought it was going to be one of the streamers that was going to decide to try to double dip and have a theater experience, right? Like Amazon bought like a boutique theater. Netflix owns a couple just so they can say, okay, we're going to give you a theatrical run in these 2 theaters. So I thought it would be I was with you. I thought it would be another streamer. I did not think it would be the only studio without a stream service would be the ones that would do it.
Glitch Sister says they have place there. They do. That's another thing. Sony's got other revenue streams.
Oh, so why doesn't that count as a stream?
It's true.
That does count as a stream.
It's true. I guess it's a non-traditional. But if you think about it, now Sony has... I mean, you can bring in the video game culture to your theater, right? The PlayStation culture. I feel like that even... There's avenues for other things that you can bring in. You know? I know that the Alamo here has been doing video game tournaments. Why not do that? I mean, I think this is great. It's like they can take, and maybe this is overselling it, but they can take the Alamos and turn them into mini theme parks.
I mean, they did.
How many stuffed Will Smith dolls do you think they would have sold over this weekend?
I don't know, man.
It would have been great. They would have sold like 1,000 of them. People would have been doing Instagram videos of them slapping the doll or the doll slapping them. That's just free publicity.
Yeah. No, I mean, Alamo is set up and has every single thing it Sony needs in place to jump right into the deep end. And if it wasn't for that, I think there'd be more Alamo if it wasn't for that price point. Like, right, we looked into that franchising. I mean, that's a big commitment that you're doing in a very uncertain market.
Yeah. I mean, and also it's gonna change. Like, you're gonna have to say goodbye to some of the food options. That's likely gonna go away. Drink options will probably remain the same and maybe even increase, you know. Specialty cocktails when a movie comes out, I think is a good deal. And again, limited swag when a movie comes out is a good deal. But you might not get avocado toast anymore. That's your movie. You might not get buffalo cauliflower. God bless the executive chefs there, but that might go away.
And this is a serious question too, right? I mean, obviously the other half of the Alamo Drafthouse experience was they were a brew house too. Did Sony have to apply for some kind of license, or did they just did that come with the deal now that they're brew houses?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they have to. They are. I mean, the Alamo Drafthouse themselves already have liquor licenses.
Yeah, and do they scrap that? Do they get rid of? Do they get rid of that experience? Now, granted, we're seeing other theaters trying to jump on that, right? Like I took you to a Cinemark over here, and you're like, you can get a whiskey slushy.
Why would they? Why would they get rid of it? That doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
know.
That's
I
just
don't
like
know.
hand over fist profit selling booze at the theater. I think food is on the cut, is on the chopping block.
Certain foods, right? They're
certain
not going to stop foods, right?
They're not
But
going to
they're going
stop
to serve
foods.
food.
I question whether or not they're going to continue their don't talk policy or will punch you in the face.
And JJ said that's one of the main reasons he does go to Alamo because he knows he's going to get that guaranteed peace and quiet during the movie. Like, are you going to turn off? Are you going to lose your core audience? This because there's a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah, why are you going to lose your core audience? I think that's a big deal. And the thing is, it's different here in Austin. It's like I feel like Alamo has a little bit of reverence. I don't know how it is in other cities across the country. Glitch Sister says, would Sony really want to get the place dirty by inviting parties? Well, I mean, I think they have parties all the time. It's a dine-in theater. First thing they'll scrap is the liquor license. I mean, the one here is a party constantly. They have Motown on Monday. They're throwing confetti all the time for whatever Clueless is going on. There's generally that's pretty common.
yeah. I mean, I went like I told you. I went to the one in Brooklyn and I went to the one in Staten Island, and it was definitely a little more subdued. But I just didn't know if that was at the time that I went. Like here, we'll go at peak times, and we'll see the highball will be packed, and we'll hear the karaoke going. But is that just because that Alamo South Lamar is now the mothership, so to speak?
I feel like
And
it is the mothership. So, I mean, it could be that I just, there's a view that we don't have of the franchisees. I know I did go see the new Planet of the Apes at the one in San Antonio, and it was pretty empty. They had all the bells and whistles. They had a little stage, and it's a very nice franchise, but it was pretty empty.
It doesn't. Yeah, I think the South Lamar is a different experience altogether. Because even when you go to the one here at Lakeline up in North Austin, which, oh man, we could have saw the Planet Apes. Their theme is Planet of the Apes. It just hit me. I wasn't here for it, but they always seem way more subdued, way more subdued. So I do worry about the core, the core audience, and like you said, and that is a brand. I think everybody kind of plays that up, right? Since Pulp Fiction and talking about getting a movie and a glass of beer, and then Quentin Tarantino was basically, talking about how this was his favorite theater. Just kept going and going and going.
Oh, how about if Sony can get QT to bring back QT Fest?
That's what I was exactly what I was kind of leaning into.
Yeah.
He loves Alamo Draft. He's the one that helped put it on the map.
They could
He used
do a
to
whole
his
thing.
own personal film fest.
They could program QT Fest, send his prints around the country, sell out those shows. You know what I mean? I feel like there's potential in that repertory programming if they approach it correctly. Alamo's done it forever, but it was more your buddy playing videos for you type of programming. Can they do it on that sort of level, corporate level? Maybe. I don't know. I'm all for whatever's going to save movie theaters because I think they are on decline. It's like there's like you just movie theaters. You're looking really thin. Have you eaten? Do you want to? Do you want an insure because you're just not looking good? I just think there's something to that. So I feel like this is what they call the marketing people at work call disruptive. This is a disruptive to the industry, and I like that this is happening. It sucks that Alamo's going to change, but everything changes. What can we do?
Very disruptive from and very bold from the makers of Sony Walkman comes Alamo Drafthouse.
Who knew? Listening to cassettes on the bus becomes this.
That we were going to help finance this. Another thing I wanted to talk about with this is how does this? We noticed the pre-rolls change. How is this going to affect the pre-rolls of the movies, which is kind of like their gimmick, right? That's their staple, is the very unique pre-show.
I think they've already pretty much tapered them down.
Yeah.
They don't play any unlicensed material. Like, I mean, when I first started going to Alamo, they were literally just playing YouTube videos. You know,
It's true.
back in early 2001s, they just literally you just playing YouTube videos off a laptop.
They did
So
do
I think
that.
they've probably now figured out the system where they can license that stuff. I mean, they could definitely play anything out the Sony library. They can use Sony characters to create pre-roll programming. I think that's still a great part of the experience.
I didn't. What was his name? Lars.
Lars, yeah,
Lars. Sorry, and he's still at. Is he still at AFS
he's at
here in
AFS now.
town?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably the one that was picking them before, right?
No, I think he was the guy connecting his laptop to the projector
That's right.
to play those videos. He
Oh
was the
man.
guy.
Do you know if Tim Lee is he gonna be involved in this in any way, shape, or form? Do you know?
I have no idea. I mean, if it's sold to Sony, who knows? But I'm pretty sure he's good to be out. I mean, he's Neon Films.
Oh, he's at his own He's his own studio now. He's Neon.
He's Neon, yeah. He's
didn't know
at
he
least
was
he's a
Neon.
partner in Neon, yeah.
And I guess that brings up another point, right? Because Drafthouse Films, which is part of that, does that now just become a subset of Sony?
There is no Draft
that-
House Films anymore.
No?
No, that's been gone. That became Neon.
Oh, okay. He took that with him?
No, it's just he started as Draft House Films, but now he's Neon.
Oh, I gotcha.
It grew into Neon. Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I don't remember. Again, I lost track. I just knew they were in trouble. So Michael Kusterman is the current CEO, and he's still going to be running it for now, as far as we know. But I
don't know who
didn't
that
know
is.
how. He's the CEO of Alamo Drafthouse,
Oh, who knows?
and he's going to stay in there.
It's probably not. I'm sure they'll get him out ASAP.
Kusterman will report to Ravi Ahuna, President and COO of Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Yeah, it's gonna be more like that.
Added Tom Rothman, Chairman and CEO of Sony Pictures.
It's gonna be the director of Sony events or experiences. Sony Experiences will be running that now.
We believe strongly in engaging entertainment fans outside the home in fun and distinctive ways, as seen most recently with our Wheel of Fortune live traveling tour.
Nice.
What? Did that happen?
Wheel of
Is that
Fortune's
why
always
Pat-
traveling?
But a live traveling tour that they said they just started doing, is that why Pat Sajak quit?
I don't know about that. I don't think that has anything to do with that. But like they did that. I know they've done traveling game shows. That's been pretty common. I tried out for a few in the past.
Oh, I didn't know. I've seen, like, right, usually that's how you find actors that are on there, because they film on Sunset Boulevard there, right? So they just grab people off the streets. But I didn't know that they were traveling. Wait, this is so Tim Leake's comment is, we are beyond thrilled to join forces with Sony Pictures, expand our company vision to be the best damn cinema that has ever or will ever exist now in ways we can only dream of, says Tim League.
Now they're
They have a
studio
deep-
funded. Why not?
They have a deep respect and understanding of cinema's ability to both drive growth and create lasting cultural impact, which aligns perfectly with everything Alamo Drafthouse stands for. And that's one thing, and you just brought that up. It's right. They never got into the streaming business, but we never knew why, like if they wanted to. And that was one of the reasons, right, Quentin Tarantino chose them to be the distributor of his films, right? Because he didn't want a streamer to take it.
Right.
So is there somebody that's embedded in Sony that is just like, we have to save cinema, we have to save movies, or we have to at the minimum save Alamo?
Well, when everybody else is trying to kill movies, you go the other direction.
Yeah.
That's counter programming.
And it's weirdly timed when we shared that Kevin Smith quote, and he was just talking about how worried he was for theaters, and he's like, it's in the toilet, and he's just like, it's not going to be the same experience. But he also reiterated, he said it's never going away, which I agree with. I don't think it's ever going away. He compared it to Broadway, which never went away, but tripled and quadrupled their prices. But he says what's going to happen is now you're going to have all these studios that are going to, I mean, all these theaters, they're going to have to rip out the 300 seat stadiums and get rid of all that and give you more of as close to what we're used to from Alamo Drafthouse as possible. So maybe just the empty theater boxes are the ones that are in trouble, but cultivating an experience which Alamo already has, and maybe Sony saw that.
Definitely.
Alamo also has what's considered the country's strictest theater chain, no talking, no texting policy.
That's what I'm not sure they can maintain.
Yeah. Because can you kick them? Can you really kick people out of... Okay, so here's a serious question, right? So you have I don't know, I'm just going to say Disney. I'm going to say Disney again. You have a Disney movie. Somebody's talking during the Disney movie. Alamo does their thing and kicks them out. Now somebody from Sony just kicks somebody out of a Disney movie. Is that like some kind of weird conflict of interest?
Why?
Like you said?
Why?
Because it's Sony. Well, I guess they did it with no refunds, right? So I guess they're not losing money. But
Yeah.
What if it just tarnished? I don't think I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around on how these studios are going to play well together. I'm all for...
They're not playing well. This is not a play well together scenario. There's nothing about playing well here. They're becoming a distributor. You know what I mean? They're jumping into that. They're jumping into that job, and they don't have to play well. They keep the rules the same. The split is still the same. Everything can remain the same. It's just that now some of the money, the other half of the money from your film screening goes to your rival, not to some random theater chain from Austin.
And if I'm trying to think of a good scenario to compare that basically like you said, your competition is now going to be in charge of the experience for your film.
Yeah.
And it just feels like there could be...
But how's it different than how's it different than anything else that's already going on? It's like...
Well, like the other exhibitors are not studios making films.
Yeah.
They should have never been.
There's no benefit to Sony trashing the experience of any other films. Like there's no.
But I'm thinking the other way around. Like we're assuming that we know Hollywood is not a generous place, right? Now they're going to have to accept that whatever that bargain that they made with exhibitors for Alamo, that automatically now defaults over to Sony. So before it's just like, okay, Alamo Drafthouse, the cinema chain, is getting a piece of our film. Fine, we have to show it. But now, Sony, one of our rival studios, is getting a piece of our film. They're going to get a piece of every studio's film. I mean, it's a great move for Sony, but are the other studios either A, going to be okay with it, or B, saying, now we got to do it?
I mean, they can. I'm sure all the other studios would be interested in hearing bids, They totally can. I think the other studios are going to wait and see how this pans out. But they totally can. There's nothing stopping them from moving in that direction. It's that law was revoked.
And the question is, and I think Glitch Sister brought this up earlier, like, what was the reasoning for that law? Was it's some kind of like... Was it some kind of monopoly law?
Right. But like from the early 30s, like, yes, it was a separation of trying to break monopolies.
Oh yeah, antitrust standard intended to thwart the vertical integration of film studios. the standard forced the sale of movie theaters, which would often exclusively show movies produced by the studios that own them, and took measures against block booking. So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. So this, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is kind of happened before, except the difference is I think it was a little bit more of a thriving market. You didn't have all these other ways to consume your media to contend with. So maybe now maybe that's why the law got revoked. They're like, well, you know what? We're already losing to phones anyway, so we need to do something.
Right.
We need to do something to shake it up. Because I was always kind of confused by that. Like, these studios have so much money, and they clearly never wanted to share their money with the exhibitors ever, right? We've heard that. It's like they make no money. They make pennies on the dollar. So that's why popcorn was triple the price. It's been like that since as far as we remember. And I used to think, well, if they're going to be so greedy about it, then why don't they just build their own freaking movie theaters and show that? Well, apparently that did happen, and then they blocked it and stopped it from happening.
Right.
Because what's to stop you from, like you said, Disney popping up a couple of hundred movie theaters across the U.S. and make it a theme park type experience and show nothing but their movies?
Nothing
now. Which, again, maybe that's the shot in the arm. Maybe that's why it happened during lockdown when they realized that studios are going to have trouble because they never recovered.
That's exactly right. That's what they're trying to do. I think that was the whole point of them revoking that law. I mean, it just doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore for them to be at odds, for them to be competing against each other. It's like, It's detrimental to both businesses.
I did. I always felt for the exhibitors. I was just like that the way they were forced to make money, and they kind of took the heat, right? People didn't go to a theater if you had a small family because then you're going to drop close to $100 on food. And the exhibitor took the heat for that, not the studios, not the film itself. The exhibitor did.
Yep.
Like, why are you charging so much popcorn? And then the exhibitor we don't make enough money to do that. So it always felt like they left them flapping out in the breeze.
So guess what? The price of popcorn's coming down.
It could now, right?
It's coming down, yeah.
I mean, Alamo's not known for their Alamo's not known for their cheap prices on their food anymore. That changed when it went corporate. Like, everything jumped up in price.
I don't think they were ever known for that, but no theater's ever been known for cheap food. No one's ever walked out of a theater and said, "What a bargain." But I think that now they can reduce the price at least a bit, or come up with they can have a value menu or something like that. Somehow decrease the price because it's not as dependent on the popcorn sales. They could even reduce the movie ticket prices if they wanted to.
I like that idea of calling it a value menu and trying to giving the opportunity to people. It's okay for the onesies and twosies, but the big families going to theaters, they didn't have the drive-in experience anymore. They couldn't just fill up the car and everybody go and not drop a ton of money.
Right. You take a bucket of chicken and some bags of groceries.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. I don't know, man. It's intriguing. It's really intriguing in 2024 that this is not what would have had on the bingo card of who would have bought Alamo. And this law got revoked right under our noses. I didn't even know when like I said, you said the court granted the DOJ's motion to lift the decree in August 7th, 2020.
Yeah, I mean, we were busy with other stuff. We were all trying to not. We were all wearing masks and trying not to lose our minds.
Yeah.
These are the days of the great toilet paper wars. There was other stuff to worry about.
Yeah, and August 7th, that was right around, I think we were at the 25% at that point, right? That they've started letting people out of the house. But that was actually starting a 2-year sunset termination period of the decrees. So then technically now you're looking at, it didn't really kick in until 2022. and now 2024, 4 years later, 2 years after they actually kicked in,
Now this is the
Sony,
time.
Sony took the first step.
Now's the time.
Question, because if people can go back on our YouTube page and please like, subscribe, and share. But go back into our archives. We basically documented the streaming wars. That was you were the first person that ever coined that term. And then you talked about the streaming wars, and then streaming wars 2, and then like you had first everyone taking the content, and then you had people streaming wars 3 is when people started combining.
Right.
Just like, let's just bundle. Let's just get HBO Max and Disney and put it as a bundle. Is this a splinter of the streaming wars?
No, streaming wars are over. Streaming wars have ended. Just
It's
like in
done.
Star Wars when they were like, remember the Clone Wars? We're in that phase now. We're way past it. Streaming
fought
wars
in the
have
streaming
ended.
wars?
Streaming wars have ended. It was mass slaughter, and they're in recovery now. Basically, all the studios blew themselves up. That was the final. That's what came of it. Everyone said, "Let's just blow ourselves up for the greater good of our profits."
Oh man, it's funny that you
And they only blew themselves up because they didn't want to mess with theaters. They were like, I want all the money to come directly into my bank account. I don't want to have to funnel through a movie theater system where they split it and we only get half. Just give all the money to us. But it just didn't work. It didn't work that way.
No, it didn't.
That's what you call greed. That's greed.
Gordon Gekko warned us, man. Well, he didn't warn us. He
thought
trumpeted
greed
it.
works.
He thought greed was good, because people would not play again, and that's why I keep saying they didn't play well together, because traditionally, through all these advents of all these technologies to find all these new ways of delivering media, somebody always was there to be greedy and start. Because even before the streaming wars, right, we had the format wars, right? I mean, we're talking like going back to like VHS versus beta. Like, you had the format wars, and then after VHS won that war, then the DVDs like try to sneak in and then snuffed out the like VHS. But then you had Sony. Sony was part of that too. Sony was in that. They lost that one, right? Because they were beta. Sony is always in this. And now here it is, 2024, and they pulled the biggest reverse Uno card there is, and like, psych, we're just going back to brick and mortar. We're not going to use technology.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, it was, like I said, it's intriguing time. There's some people that
People
are
don't want
celebrating.
technology. They want to eat at food trucks.
You're right. I think is this part of the whole anti-technology push that's happening?
I don't know about an anti-technology push, but like, it's just people want niche stuff, so you got to draw it up for them. You go to the regular movies, it doesn't feel niche. It's just like annoying for the most part. We're blessed in Austin with great movie theaters. I don't know how it is around the country, but sometimes you go over to the Regal that's over by the highway, and it's just like two 16-year-olds running an entire 40-screen movie theater. If you try to get a beer, they have to page somebody to show up and open the beer taps.
Oh man, no, I think you're right. I think it really is. People were really turned off by a lot of the stuff that you're getting in the other chains. Who's considered the major chains? Right? Are the big threes AMC, Regal, and Cinemark? Those are the big three.
No, there's like 7 before Alamo Drafthouse. I'm sure Google will tell you.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Who are the top 7 theater chains? Because those are the 3 that I know, and we just had a Regal near us close. Let's have top 10 theater chains.
What is it?
Well, this is the one list of theater. Okay. And this could get a little tricky just because of their different names. AMC, Cineworld, which is this is for the world. so it's not in the U.S. AMC, Cineworld, Cinemark, Cinepolis is Mexico. CGV in South Korea. Cinemex in Mexico. View in UK. What's the U.S. one? Although this is an international show, so we had to at least read that. Okay, here we go. U.S. Alamo Drafthouse has 380 screens.
I think they're up to 75.
Oh, yep. AMC theaters, according to Wikipedia, 591 theaters. They have 7,700 screens. There's some small ones. Allen Theaters, Apple Cinemas. They did not put this in order. They put it in alphabetical order. Cinemark was the next one, 525. I can't believe there's still so many small theater chains. Coming Attraction Cinemas has 19 locations.
I love it. I wonder if that's the place I went to with the free nacho cheese.
Maybe that's right.
Whatever that is, I would like to franchise them out.
There's 15 classic cinemas in Illinois and Wisconsin. Imagine with an E.
Mm-hmm.
This is fascinating. I picked theaters. That's the one we have here. There's 15 of those, 115 screens. So they're still behind on cinema. Yeah, but those are the big three, or AMC, Cinemark, and Regal. I don't know. National Amusements. They actually own, so that's like a mother company that owns like the sub cinemas.
Sure.
Yeah, I need a better list. Regal is the other one. Regency, Showplace. Because there's no chain. All the ones in LA all still run independently, right? Like Quentin owns 2 of them. Amazon.
There's like 100 theaters in LA. I don't. Yeah, Quentin owns only 2 of them. Yeah, that's right.
Giants of Exhibition. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm happy that Alamo's going to stay alive, and I'm just hopeful for as little disruptive as possible. And we know it's going to feel like it's going to be untouched for at least a year, right? We've been part of mergers and acquisitions. It'll go untouched for probably a year. Before you start to see any kind of changes. But do you think, and this is going to be the last thing we talk about, I forgot to bring this up earlier. So we had the one company, that entrepreneur in Dallas, that filed for bankruptcy on like 3 of the locations there, 3 or 4 of them. Was that the sound the alarm, somebody's got to do something? Because I believe he was their biggest franchisee.
What's your question? I don't understand. What?
Was that the shot? Was that the signal flare that we're in trouble if Alamo's biggest franchisee just declared bankruptcy?
I don't know. You have to ask a corporate raider how that works. But like, I don't know if that's a thing that says, let's go. Is it better to go bankrupt before the acquisition, or is the bankruptcy the flagship of acquisition? What's up, AJ? No, Fantastic Fest still happening. Possibly this will be the last one. Maybe I'm gonna grab a ticket. I guess I'm gonna grab a ticket.
You
should go, Jeff. You should go.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually be in town. That's the rumor that it's still happening. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just like, what are the odds of this timing that last week that franchisee declared bankruptcy and closed those locations? A week later, they're sold.
I mean, it seems pretty logical to me. I feel like either they had a heads up to what was coming, or the fact that this happened was the last straw that, caved to the buy-in. Maybe right. It was either they had a heads up, and for some reason it was better for them to go bankrupt first. And if anybody in the stream has financial training, let us know. Or it was that because of the fact that they went bankrupt, it was like, ah, shit, okay, we'll drop our price a little bit, and then you can buy us.
Yeah, because what happens to those ones that closed down? Are they closed for good? Like Ritz never came back. Joe Rogan's like, I'm going to buy that building and turn it into a comedy club.
Yeah.
It never came back. Are those locations just done now?
I don't I don't know franchise laws. Again, I don't know real estate law, but I mean, if they went bankrupt, I don't really know if that protects them from the Sony buyout or not. So hopefully somebody in the audience knows.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Well, we shall see. Fingers crossed that Alamo still will be with us, because it still is by far, as Tim League said, the best damn cinema. Even on their most corporate days, they were head and shoulders above 95% of the other cinemas. And I say that because I'm going to put the disclaimer out there. I don't know if you've never traveled up here to the Rock yet, have you? And sat in on a Flicks Brewhouse yet?
No.
They are Pepsi, and Alamo was always Coke.
The thing is, I don't really care about the food or the table service or any of that. For me, Alamo, it was always the personality and the programming.
Yes,
it has nothing to do. If I got to go to movie theater and not get a beer in a glass, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But it's the things they played. It was the pre-show. It was It was the fact that they were movie people targeting movie people.
Facts.
So yeah, I don't care. Keep your chicken strips. Keep your pitchers of beer. I'm okay. Just don't lose the vibe.
Yeah. Well, again, I think they, for the most part, did keep. And then I can't speak for '90s Austin, but it was a really unmatched vibe that was able to travel well. It traveled well outside of Austin, and you still got, like I told you, that it felt like an Alamo. So hopefully they continue that. Cool. Do we take breaks when we're vertical?
No, sir.
No breaks.
Nope. If you need a break, you got to take it beforehand.
No breaks.
Nope.
So we'll stick with Sony then, right? And let's talk about Sony's other line of business that's not PlayStation or owning Alamo Drafthouse or making Walkmans. It's making movies.
That's what they
do. Bad Boys. Ride or Die. I think it was on last week's show. You were pretty confident you weren't going to go see it, and I was right there with you. And then RJ, friend of the show, was like, "Let's go see Bad Boys."
Oh, like, RJ took you to Bad Boys.
Yeah, and I was like, and that's his pocket, right? That is his generation. He kind of came up with Bad Boys, like he was born into that. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's go see it. It's the only other movie. I was going to see Watchers. We'll see Watchers first, then we'll see Bad Boys.
So you and RJ did a double feature of Watchers and Bad Boys?
RJ did not see the Watchers. I'll meet you at the theater. So I did the double. I did the double feature. Saw Watchers, which it was fine. She knows how to direct a movie. There was nothing wrong with it. But Bad Boys, I told you, when I was in there, something felt different. And the last Bad Boys was ironically right before a lockdown. And I think it always kind of has a negative vibe in my head because of, like, it's tied to 2020. It's the #1 movie of the year, yet it barely made any money because of lockdown.
Well, were you a fan of the Bad Boys 1 and 2?
I liked the first one well enough. I mean, was like peak Will Smith, right? Martin Lawrence. I mean, I liked it. I had no heat with it. I don't even remember that much about the second one, to be honest.
Well, the second one is the one that became legend because it's so over the top.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Bay going to 11.
Michael Bay should go.
I was never a huge fan of the Bad Boy franchise, and I really had no intention of watching this one at all.
Yeah, you were not in on it.
No. So did the movie for you? Did it ride or die?
It rode. It really did ride. I wasn't sure how people were going to forgive, if people were going to get over the whole Will Smith controversy, if they were going to get past all of that and say whatever you want about, him and whatever, but as an actor, he made me forget he was Will Smith, right? And he was, Detective Mike Powell. And I completely forgot about that. And I was like, I guess that's acting. Because I forgot that he was Will Smith. And yeah, dude, I dug it. And I think what helped, while we're talking about the theatrical experience, is I told you, I love seeing horror movies with a big group. I love seeing comedies with a big group. This one had a lot of people here for a Sunday night, and it was crowded. And the crowd was popping for the jokes. And that's how it started. And I'm like, man, they're laughing a lot for these jokes. Like, stuff was getting over. And then, when the big schmaz happened at the end, and spoiler free, when the big thing happened, people were like, oh yeah, and they were like clapping and stuff, and I was like, whoa, we just got like a Marvel pop.
Wait, which part are you talking about?
Oh, when the big confrontation between the big bad and the bad boys.
Okay.
Yeah, right on the beach.
Oh, okay.
Right on the beach. Right on the beach. You had the hostage scene. You got to make a choice. Is it going to be your partner? Is it going to be her? You got to make the choice. And he made the choice, and man, people popped. People popped so big for that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I kind of felt it coming. Like, I was like, I think that's what he's going to do. And it was very predictable, but it worked. It still worked. Like, I wouldn't have wanted a surprise.
Predictable is not really a bad thing. But
it's not. I agree.
I will say, to me, this movie did ride. It didn't die. I think one thing, though, this is the first movie of the 2024 summer movie season that I don't think was written by an AI chatbot.
Yeah, you're right.
This didn't feel like it was written by a chatbot. This was written by somebody who knew comedy. You know what I mean? And the seeds are planted early and they pay off. Jokes are set up early and they pay off. It moves, the pace of this thing. It moves really fast. And I even told you that I texted you right after the movie. They basically channel Michael Bay from the 90s.
They did.
They Donnie Darkoed him over here into this tangent universe where we have a Bad Boys 4. And it's just like, it's basically what a summer movie is supposed to be, or what we imagined it to be before things got complicated and we had to overthink things. You know what I mean? I think it did really good, right? It benefits from the fact that there's nothing at the theater anybody wants to watch.
Oh yeah, and it's going to really have no competition this week.
There's nothing until July, I think.
It's going to have a stellar second weekend, and it's already. It does. We knew this movie was going to do pretty decent internationally, right? I mean, but they've already made their budget back. I don't know about the marketing budget, but the production budget's already.
Well, they marketed the hell out of this movie. There was a lot. Yeah. There was a lot of promo in this movie. I don't know if you saw. It was all over the NBA playoffs, and Will Smith was just on Hot Wings, which I didn't watch. And
I didn't watch that yet. Yeah.
So they promoted the heck out of this movie. So there's a big marketing spend there.
Yeah.
I think that folks really identified with this movie as a bit of nostalgia. This feels like a movie from another time.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did it feel like that, that 90s nostalgia, which is, 80s nostalgia is so strong that it hasn't gone away yet. But 90s nostalgia it's coming along really well. And this was that feel. And I think you think that as well. I think it benefited from that.
Yeah, not like they were listening to 90s music, but just like it just channeled a type of movie they don't make anymore.
Yeah.
Just over the top, goofy, fun. Cops versus robbers or cops versus crooked cops. I mean, even that in itself is a rarity. And no heat well directed, well paced. I would say decently written. So there are certain few things where it's just like what, but okay. It goes by so fast you just don't think about it. But since we're breaking it down right now, what was the most ridiculous part of the movie is when John Sally has the barcode in his painting and is like, yeah, it's over. The secret code is over there. Literally, anybody could have scanned the barcode. And then they scan the barcode, and Joey Pants is like, oh, thank God you scanned the barcode. Now I can tell you the truth. Now, maybe something got cut there that changed it, but that doesn't seem like a very secure method of passing on secrets.
No, you're absolutely. I mean, I think we're pretty much as a society trained to scan barcodes.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know what it's for. If there's a barcode on a telephone pole, we're more than likely we were probably going to scan it,
right,
just to see what happens.
So there was some got lost in translation there, but otherwise, I mean, fairly decently written. Just it moved at a brisk pace, and it was
under 2 hours.
It was over in under 2 hours. Yeah,
under 2 hours, man. I think that helped it so much because how much more of this do we need? Did we need 2 hours, more than 2 hours worth of the Bad Boys?
Yeah.
Not if we're gonna have another installment, right?
I mean, at this point, I'm sure they'll crank one out as fast as they can.
Yeah, now they will, right?
I mean, one of the first things I was laughing at is like, Will Smith is finally settling down at the ripe old age of 56. Finally, he's been a playboy for way too long. But like, it was, and then Martin Lawrence with the whole, I can't die gimmick. I mean, that's okay. I feel like they kind of did that in Fast and Furious, but, it's definitely digging into that territory. But again, I had no heat with this movie.
I mean, he definitely
put that on the poster.
I got no heat with this movie.
Yeah.
I think Martin Lawrence, we got to experience old Martin Lawrence, right? Belial from House Party. It's just like he really did leaned into that, like I'm death proof, and just kind of went to town with that. And I think that was fun. And that was one of the big payoffs that was like the closest we got to a jump scare in that movie was to freaking when he thought he faced off with that alligator saying that I was death proof.
Yeah.
I mean, people jumped like they did not expect that, and I don't think anyone expected that.
It was good. What was driving me crazy the whole movie was I was trying to figure out, where do I know Thorne from? Where's Thorne from? Did you
Thorne? Which
Thorne?
The mayor?
Vanessa Hudgens' boyfriend.
Oh, he's Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
No. Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh, where's she from? Yeah,
she's from High School Musical. I'm talking
about. Wait, that
Thorne.
was her?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was her.
Yeah, I know Mr. Fantastic was the mayor, which makes sense. But we have Vanessa Hudgens, who's the other cop. Was it Rita or something like that? But she had the other dude who was her secret boyfriend. And I was like, who is this guy? Why? I couldn't place him. It's
from Heels.
From Heels.
From Heels, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm still blown away that was Vanessa Hudgens was his girlfriend.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. I felt like that was going to be like a spin-off power couple, but wow, that's Vanessa Hudgens. I'm blown away. But yeah, I did pick up from Heels. He didn't have that accent, but yeah, he was a great character too. They both were.
Yeah, I don't know. It was yeah, it was good. Again, this movie was like constructed in a scientific way to elicit responses. It's good. It's perfectly written script. The timing is great. Would I love to see the exact same movie with two different actors in the leads? Absolutely. That's my personal preference, but I understand, jumping back into the well and saying, okay, we've got the Bad Boys. Let's do the Bad Boys formula again. But I again have no heat with this movie.
And
you know, Will Smith gets the slap.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
Will Smith gets the slap. I think people liked seeing that. That made everybody feel better.
Yeah, I think they did do that. And we also had a country version of the song "Bad Boys," and then we also had another music genre version of "Bad Boys," right? Because that's what's wild, dude. Is this whole franchise was built on that song, that first trailer back in the day when they were just singing "Bad Boys, Bad Boys." The theme from Cops, they built an entire franchise around that song, and it still played well. That was a big part of the to get psyched up scene was singing. Starting to sing it. He's like, "Don't do it." That's like their hype music.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild to be built on that.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
What about dude, Tiffany Haddish, man? Was that improv? That had to be improv, right?
No, I don't think any of this movie was improv.
No?
No. This movie felt scientific. It felt like it was written to the T.
She pulled no punches, man. She really didn't. I mean, her character, I did not expect that at all. And I know she's...
What didn't you expect?
I mean, she's just like this stripper is just like, all right, I'll get you guys some guns, but you're going to eat me out. And and people were just in the theater were just like rolling.
Yeah, that's just a perfectly constructed joke. I mean, I feel like that's perfectly spicy enough and tame enough to cross all audiences. You know what I mean? It's like grandma covers the kid's ears, but the movie goes on. You know what I mean? It's just it's not overly vulgar.
No, yeah, I mean, it's just still, but I guess, I don't know, there was a lot of kids in our screening, and
this is family entertainment, dude. This is family entertainment. This is not vulgar, violent, overly sexual. You get one sex joke in this movie.
Yeah, that was it.
It's perfectly timed out. Now, this movie was rated R, right? Because there are a lot of F-bombs.
Oh, yeah, that was rated R.
But again, you're going to buy tickets for the whole family to see Bad Boys. It doesn't matter that this is R-rated.
Yeah.
So what? They drop F-bombs, no big deal. You get one cunnilingus joke, fine. Not a big deal.
Just make it count. And they did. They made it count. The other thing that got a huge pop in the theater, and again, I start thinking spinoffs, even though I probably don't want the spinoffs, but you just start thinking of the characters that got over really well. Reggie. Oh man, the theater went bananas for that. They really did. They didn't expect,
well, they knew it too. He was the last person on screen.
Yeah, that worked out so well. You'd want, in the future, you're gonna want more Reggie. Because that whole scene was just incredible.
This movie's written by scientists. Perfectly constructed to elicit a response.
They were cheering, man. They were cheering so much for Reggie. That whole thing. And it's just like he did that straight face thing. And it made it work. And you know who else got over really well? Was his illegitimate son, Armando, as one of the unofficial bad boys who basically took out Joey Pants in the last movie. I
didn't see the last movie. I'm going to have to watch it now, I guess, just for the catch-up. But
you're going to have to, because now it's just all is forgiven. I think that, again, that was another thing. That was another scene right there when you said, predictable is good. Because you knew they were going to have something where the mother was going to have to make a choice of just and what a better way to make her make that choice of should she get her revenge than her daughter say, he saved my life. Now, he didn't get the official, okay, you're going to be, we're going to waive all the charges and you're on the team now. But they gave him the send-off of just, hop on the boat and just pretend that you're not, just get out of here before I change their mind. I mean...
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just get out of here for now.
I don't want to, stretch it and I don't want to go too far. But this is the kind of stuff that they did in Fast and the Furious on why we have now.
It's absolutely fast. The writers knew the assignment here. They are definitely digging into Fast and the Furious bag of tricks. And that's what
Yes.
they're trying to build here. I don't think this hits. What was it? What was the one that was really good? Fast Five.
Fast Five.
That's
Yeah.
the one that kind of flipped the script and really put him in a different category. I don't think this one did that, but it was definitely a crowd pleaser. But let's see what they do for the next one. I mean, how old are these cats? Can they continue to do these movies?
I don't know,
Because
man. And
to me, Will Smith is he's looking old.
he's finally starting to look his age. It took
Yeah.
a long time to him to start to look his age, and again, he survived a big controversy and came back, which it could have really affected this.
I don't
box
think
office.
he's quite back yet. I just think that in this familiar packaging, it's easy to it's comfort level. If he came back and did another movie if he did try to do The Pursuit of Happiness right now, I don't think it would get over.
No.
Will Smith is 55 right now.
55.
Yeah.
He's definitely at that stage where people were like, "Okay, are we okay with seeing Tom Cruise?" Remember when he finally got out of movie prison? And now I think people pretty much forgotten that he was in it, but
I still don't think people have forgotten. I think that this is Will Smith in comfortable Will Smith packaging, and that's a different. We won't know until he does an original movie.
yeah. Which I don't think Tom Cruise have never did that after he never did an original movie.
No,
right?
he's only done Mission Impossible movies for like the last 10 years.
Yeah, so he's pretty much stuck to it. But now, using that Fast and the Furious formula, you got the Bad Boys team. Bad Boys, Bad Girls. I mean, you got the partners, you got the illegitimate son, you got the son-in-law, you got the other two cops, you got, Joey Pants as the voice from beyond. That's kind of the Nick Fury bringing this team together. I think they can safely get another movie out of this franchise at the minimum. That would do really well.
I'm sure they're writing the script right now.
Yeah, because it worked so well.
That's not even a question. The question will be is how long can they milk this franchise? Can they take it to 10? Can they get to Bad Boys X? I don't know about that.
I mean, if you have Armando and Reggie as the new Bad Boys, right?
No one will watch that.
But and then
no one watches Fast and the Furious without Dom.
No, I'm saying they're still going to be in it, but you can get the young cats to kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting in the movie, and then Will and Martin are still there, but maybe they're flying the drone. No. I'm very intriguing, and sorry, I know I try not to be distracted, but it's 95 Boston, 92 Dallas.
Shit!
3 minutes left.
How much is left?
3 minutes. 3 minutes left. So if you want to wrap up, it's totally understandable.
Why can't you? I mean, I won't get to the end anyway. But yeah, we'll wrap up here shortly.
Yeah, but Bad Boys, Ride or Die. It was a ride for me.
Yeah, it was a ride for me. It's again familiar fast food content. It did exactly what it needed to do. Again, I'm not a fan of this franchise. I don't think I would go see it on a regular basis if we weren't doing a podcast to talk about it. But you know what? It was fine. You know what the question that came to me though is like, how bad was Batgirl? These directors seem legit. They had a lot of stylish flourishes in there. They did doing stuff with drones and snorri cams and all that stuff. It's like, how bad could Batgirl have been that they buried it like that?
Wait, this director...
These are the guys that did Batgirl.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. These are the Batgirl directors that got buried.
Wow. They did... Oh, again, they did the last Bad Boys as well. I had no idea. Damn, I'm learning a lot today. We're bringing some value because I'm definitely learning a lot.
Value is what we're trying to do.
Yes. But yeah, props to them. Props to...
I'm just like, how bad could Batgirl have been? I don't see them making a bad Batgirl movie.
No. If you were told me right now that you were giving them the reins to a character like Batwoman, Batgirl, I'd be all for it. I was like, yeah, that was good. I can totally see them doing it.
Anyway,
But we'll see. We'll go to that ending spot that you wanted to talk about. I mean, we had we had a massive surprise with the Alamo stuff, but we had a nice little surprise too that you just shared with me right before the show.
oh yeah, well I was just so stoked for the Terrifier 3 poster that just dropped. My gosh.
And that is incredible. And that's creepy duck design.
I don't know who did it. I mean, we can hashtag them in the post after. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is for the European release.
Yes, that said that one did after you shared it with me. It said for the UK and Ireland release. What a beautiful poster. I mean, I want that to be my Christmas card this year.
I hope this movie delivers. I think it will, but it's just, this is the movie I'm looking forward to more than pretty much anything else. I can't believe how much I'm looking forward to being disturbed and, not terrified, but I mean, just like disgusted.
That's one way to put it. I mean, I got to tell you, too, this movie is being positioned for this franchise to be, this is their Dream Warriors. This is going to be their Dream Warriors if we're going to be Art the Clown for 10 more films. Or if on the other side of the coin is just, do you think there's a chance that it's going to be so disturbing that people will be tapping out like, no, that was too much? Did the line. Do you think so? I don't feel like it's going to, but just devil's advocate, is it possible that could happen?
I don't know.
Could it be too? Because that was what the girl upside down was pretty disturbing.
But literally nobody saw that unless you were a Tubi freak in the late 2020s. Like, it's not. I feel like Terrifier, the first one was so underground that you either knew or you didn't know. It wasn't a casual watch.
No, it wasn't. Sorry, it is 102-98. Boston's winning with 42 seconds left.
Shit.
It's going to turn into a quick NBA stream at the same time. This feels like this is the most mainstream that this is going to be Terrifier's fair swing at the plate. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be holding this film back this time where people are going to say, I don't think there's going to be people say, I didn't hear about that. I think people are going to start seeing it. Like, you can go into Spirit of Halloween and they got a life-size Art the Clown now.
That's going to be huge, bro.
Yeah.
Once Spirit Halloween, you got them on your side?
Yeah.
Give me a break. It's over.
It's pretty incredible, man. I mean, he's already, for like the hardcore fans, hardcore audience, he is already a Halloween icon and a horror movie icon. You're going to see him every year for Halloween, and people are automatically going to get it the same way that 50 years later, people are still talking about Jason and Freddy. People are going to know instantly when you're Art the Clown. But now the question is this going to be the film where it actually shows at the box office? Although I'm pretty sure with the budget that they gave Damien...
Well, I mean, the last one did spectacular box office.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the stuff that they write articles about, like Blair Witch. Just like, it made 10x.
That's not going to happen unless you have a major distributor. I mean, that'll never they'll never match Blair Witch unless it gets picked up by Universal or something like that. That's the only way that happens. But like, the last one made like 50 times its budget, and now this one is like a lot. It's still very small budgeted. I mean, it's not. It's like SAG micro budget film kind of thing. It's going to do well. As long as it gets a push into the theaters, I don't know what kind of a decent number it's going to do good. I'm sure the word of mouth will be great. if the movie's good. I mean, but like, yeah, it's not going to make $100 million if that's what you're talking about. There's no way that that's going to happen.
I bet. I don't think it needs to. I don't think it needs that. It won't need that much to make the hit, right? Because he's not even. He's not. That's not even close to what his budget is.
No.
So the first one was distributed by Dread Central, the gaming company, right? Who's doing this one? Cinema. Oh, production company. Syngium. So Bloody Disgusting, Dark Age Cinemas, or the production companies. It's just wait. I think that the opposite is happening, and that's what I'm trying to find who's doing it. I feel like the opposite's going to happen. Like, what's the studio that Freddy Krueger built, right?
New Line.
New Line, right? Freddy built them, not the other way around. I feel like if this is going to stay independent, this has the potential to really, put that production company like through the roof. I mean, this is always going to be their horror movie crown jewel.
We shall see. Someone might scoop it up right after this.
Yeah. I mean, all their posters are phenomenal. So for them to still be dropping another one that moved you the way it did, it's pretty wild. So the budget on this one was $2 million. I don't think it's going to have any problem hitting that, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, I think this is just is going to do bonkers business. Yeah, Cineverse was the distributor for 2 and going to be the distributor for this one. Which I guess, yeah, now that we think about it, the other ones were pretty much just home releases. Sorry, 106 Boston, 98 Dallas, 12 seconds left. It's not looking good. Kyrie missed a couple of threes, and I think that burnt them.
Hate the Celtics. Sorry, Celtics fans. I hate them. Yes. I hate them. Hated them since '84. Okay, well, I guess we're
going to end on that.
We're going to end on that?
Yeah. We're going to end on that. But yeah, just if you made it this far, thank you. Do appreciate you joining us vertically tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we're going to be doing this multiple times a week. So if you have any films like our very popular Donnie Darko episode, if you go back, check that out. If you have any films like that you want us to cover, just go ahead and share that.
Please subscribe to the show. Yeah. Just subscribe to this channel if you're watching right now. But be sure you use subscriptions, like, and share.
Yes, we can. And you have any suggestions, we are open to those too. So,
maybe.
Other than that, man, we will see you on Monday. Let's say Monday with an asterisk.